Yeah, I'm about my cash, I'm about my cash, I make it rain. I'm about my cash, I'm about my cash, I make it rain. I'm about my cash, I'm about my cash, I make it rain. I'm about my cash, I'm about my cash, I make it rain. I just wanna make some.
This is our second time meeting. We met back in 2020. We were just talking about that it was COVID year, right? We're like, did we meet during the pandemic?
We did.
Yeah, we did. We went out there around May, June?
Yeah, I think June at the South Lawrence East. The
Yeah, we met
bleachers.
outside. Yeah, in the bleachers. We were. I think that was the time when everybody was over COVID. Like, COVID is like we were all locked in. It was like, how real is this? Is when you were questioning if it didn't hit you personally or something like that. You were just tired of it. We're like, you know what, whatever. Let's just meet up. Let's go talk. But here, fast forward later, we're inside the studios. I see you still got your thing going. You know what I'm saying? So we're here. That's what's up.
Yep.
Yeah, I know, right? That was 2 months into COVID. That video that you guys took. It's crazy to think about how long
that
ago
was
now.
your freshman year of Assumption or sophomore?
Yeah, my second semester.
It was 2020.
That was
right?
your freshman year,
Sophomore. I was a
sophomore year. Okay. So, but even what's crazier is that he was one of your first participants, right?
Yeah,
Clients, you would
the
say.
first session I had, I met him at Lawrence Stadium. That's the first time we met, and I just put him through a basic drill, and that's when it started. It was just speed and agility, field drills. That was it. There was no positional stuff. It wasn't even strength and conditioning groups going yet. It was just me that summer.
That's awesome. But you had a vision and you stuck with it and kept going and still think.
Yep.
Talk about that vision. What is it right now? Like, where is it at? Where was it before? Where you're at now? So, what is it that you guys do? And stuff
Before
like
it was
that?
pretty much just inviting kids to any field that wouldn't throw us off. I mean, we got thrown off of Methuen High once. We jumped the fence. We picked up the equipment. We walked across the street. We continued the workout at the tennis school. And we just bounced around. And then it was strength and conditioning, and then it morphed into the field drills with just Cerullo and myself and GU. GU was with us. He was doing the receivers and stuff like that. And then from there, we launched the strength and conditioning at Batter Up. We just did that, and then we kept the field sessions going. And now it's taken off to we're going into our 5th year of having a combine, and we have kids coming from all over New England. We had 110 kids last year, and we have 2 coaches for every position. So it's become like a full-fledged camp, positional camp, training camp. Brandon's a part of it. He did a great job last summer with our younger kids. So it's really developed, and you helped us get it off the ground from the beginning. And I remember having this conversation, and actually, you were giving me some really good ideas. You messaged me during the pandemic, and you said you should do like a top plays for all your kids.
Top plays, yeah, way to keep it going without being able to meet up. All right, we can't meet up, we can't train. Let's take all their highlights and let's make a top 10, top 20. I think we did top 50 Pact performance.
Yeah,
plays.
We did. We counted.
Yeah,
down.
Awesome, it was a whole countdown every week. A new post would come up.
Awesome.
No, that was cool. That's just things you keep going. Obviously, there's more equipment. There's easier ways to do it because you're out there recording it and seeing it now. We're not shut down anymore, which is good. But, yeah.
And where else do you find that, Coach, right? Like putting in all this hard work over the summer and seeing my progress over the summer, and then having my season in over 10 games, I get all my highlights out and I show basically what I did over that season on Pact Performance. You know, it's something special. It shows you where the work that you put in, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a big thing about, I could see, you know, we're all football guys, and especially you guys are coaches now. Like, you're going to get the work you put in. If you don't put in the work, you're not going to get it. And that's what everything in life, because, like, leaving away from the football stuff, when we first did our interview, we had little mics that we just hooked up to an iPhone. Now we're here sitting in front of 3 cameras, you know what I'm saying, some professional mics, lighting, everything. And it's just, you just got to keep going, have that dream, have that vision, don't give up, and put in the hard work, you know what I'm saying? Because all this stuff, I had to work hard. I had to do my overtime. I had to do all these things to I'll be able to come and do this, because that's just how it is. So even that, you're teaching that into the young man to transition into the real world, because everything about sports is just like, because you translate into the real world.
Translates, man. It really does. It's cliche, but it really does. I remember we talked about this in our interview. I've talked with you about it. Is just like, my father, obviously, one of my mentors. I remember playing for Lawrence Papuana. We didn't win a game my first 3 years, and I was crying. And he's like, I'm telling you right now, if you don't want to finish the season, you don't have to play next year. You're not going to quit. We don't quit in this family. He's like, but this stuff is going to pay off in life. You're young. Just trust your father's judgment. And it was just like, show up. And I remember hated going to practice. I wasn't motivated. I was like, this is miserable. But it's the same thing you battle now when you got to go to work and you have to pay bills and you struggle. And not every kid's going Division I. All these kids, a lot aren't going. I don't think I've coached a kid who's gone to the NFL. But just giving these kids some coping mechanisms or some tools to help them adjust, network, maybe get a degree, maybe go off to school when they weren't gonna, or just, I don't know, develop a tough-minded mindset.
And it's just keep going though, because hold on, I'm gonna pause that real quick. On my resume, I got somebody that went in the NFL. Shout out to Jake Bobo. You know what I'm saying? He was my B team quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Jake, what up? But yo, I never would have guessed Jake was going to the NFL. Wait, he's not just in the NFL. He's catching touchdowns out there. You could pick him up in fantasy and do your thing. So like, you just never know. But that means he definitely put in the work and went all the way over there. So
and there's talent in New England, and I feel like more than ever, you guys can.
But this is a part of something we I know. Tristan talked about it last time with Pact. This is something that's not really happening in New England over here. You know, this program you guys having that letting you have a feel for football year round besides just lifting and training. Because in the South, people are doing this year round and having movement for football, stuff like that all way. And they get to stay more dedicated to it. So this is a great thing you have right here for those people that could go all the way with it now. If they start at the right age and keep doing it compared to traditionally around this area, people will go on to other sports or not even do nothing until the season starts again. Absolutely. Besides working out after school, which that's never going to be enough.
Mm-hmm. No, it's not. It's not. And the biggest thing with Pact is if I don't have the answers, I want to bring in people that have the skill set. So someone like Brandon goes off to college, and we play the good programs. You learn what you learn. But as soon as he comes back, I tell him, I don't have an ego. I'm like, Brandon, I want to learn your pass rush stuff for my linebackers, because he just got off the field. I haven't played since 2009. I know the basic stuff like that. I'm always adapting and adjusting, but I want to study great players. And I watch him, and I'm like, this is modern day stuff that these kids can use to sharpen their skills, like you said, and work that stuff. We still encourage multi-sport athletes, wrestle, play basketball, run track, but once or twice a week, if you have the time, come sharpen your skills. Because like
of course,
you can't just do this stuff in August and expect to dominate the position if you're not.
I'm a big fan of multi-sport athletes. Not saying just to do that, but it's good, like you said, 2-3 days, 1 day a week, whatever it is, to come over here, work vertically, work, laterally, and all that stuff towards football stuff is always good too.
Absolutely,
that way you don't forget about it and stuff. Let's talk about a few of what's your most I wouldn't want to just say success, because there's a lot of success in a bunch of things, but one of the coolest story you think you have from Pact and spending time and doing all that, things that has happened that you really enjoyed.
Well, not just because he's here. I have multiple examples, but for me, it's about the cliche, pay it forward, but being able to bring in someone like Brandon now and fast forward, because I just always have my head down and I'm hard on myself, and I'm always focused on we got to get better here, we got to get better here, and then seeing him graduate and finish, and now having a chance to bring him in, it's like time goes by fast, and having him deliver the message that he has with our kids, or just being able to help and give back. And then honestly, see kids kind of cheer for each other, because it's territorial in this area. And when I grew up, we were fighting the Methuen kids, fighting the Haverhill kids. We didn't talk, we didn't get along, and now people are kind of working together just to elevate the area. So I would just say all that stuff, and just after games, I take pictures with all the kids, and every week we're playing a different opponent, and the kids from Everett, hey coach, let's grab a picture after the game. St. John's Prep, who's our heated rival, Andover, Methuen. So just kind of seeing the impact go beyond just one school.
Yeah, I could imagine that, because coaching Pop Warner, you see kids go to all over the places and stuff like that, and seeing them after games or even going to watch them was a really good feeling. So I could imagine you working closely with all those guys all the way, and then seeing them go rush for 200 yards, throw for 150 against, so I'm saying, whether they win or not, but just watching them, it's a bittersweet feeling, because you're playing them, but it's so cool to see them. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would also say being able to start off with him in 2019, meeting Brandon for a one-on-one session and having my own doubts and insecurities. Kids don't want to train for football year-round. People in my college saying, what are you going to do with your life? Nobody wants to train for football year-round. And now you can bring in guys that played in the pro. You can get a guy like Jonas Gray, who played for the Pats, and he wants to come to Lawrence, stadium and be a part of it. And not once in a while as like a guest appearance, but he was on our staff just with everyone else. And it was like just to strengthen the staff and bring in the best resource for these kids.
Speaking of that, like, let's talk about your staff. Who you have on staff? What do you guys, position-wise and stuff like that?
Brandon Santel. We have Coach Abdul, who is the defensive coordinator out at Holyoke. He played at Washburn University in Kansas, grew up in New Jersey. So him and Brandon work together with the D-line. Two positional coaches for everything, because I just didn't want one coach with 25 kids and them losing that intimacy.
Yeah, reps is everything. Yep.
Coach Cerullo does the DBs. I think Coach Cerullo, has I think he's a hidden gem and he's a good friend of mine, but I brought him out to the Best of New England camp last year, and people were coming up and I was getting feedback from like D1 colleges who were like, who's this guy? He was doing the best evaluation for the DBs out there with like 900 kids. So he's a student of the game. You can't outwork the guy. We had Nick Donadio, former captain at Central, doing the DBs.
Okay.
Jonas Gray, who obviously paid for the Patriots, was a standout at Notre Dame. He did the running backs with A.J. Caginelli, standout at Endicott College. Gabe D'Souza, who was a very good player.
Okay.
Does the wide receivers. He was on the 2018 state title for North Andover. Great kid, really good with the younger kids. Marshawn Gilliard, who was a two-time All-American, the University of Cincinnati, at two positions, kick returner, receiver. I think he was the 99th pick in 2010 or something with the Rams. He'll be here for his third year, and he comes down and does speed school and positional stuff with us. Pete Clifford, local kid, grew up in Salem, was captain at Michigan State.
Nice.
And spent a couple years banging around in the NFL. Really good development coach for the O-line. Quarterback, we brought in different guys. I started out with John Sexton, head coach at Central, when I was just starting this out. But last summer we had Trevor Knight, who's the new Drake coach, TK.
Okay.
TK, he has his own brand with the Quarterback Academy, Trevor Knight Academy. He's a really good developer of quarterbacks. Anthony Romano, Jiggy. You coach Jiggy, right?
Yeah, Coach Jiggy for a few years.
He's on pace to be an All-American at Hobart. He was
that's awesome.
He does a really good job with the linebackers. Coach Mike McCurry, 4-year starter at Merrimack. I think he's 6th all-time in tackles. He's been with us. It's going to be his 4th year. Does a great job. And the brand is where it is because of guys like this and the coaches we have. Like these guys are
that's a lot of football knowledge over there, and a bunch of people you mentioned. I'm sure there's more. It's a kind of hard question to put on right on the spot. So where you guys are training with all these people and stuff like that, where do you guys host your stuff? Like when do you sign up? Where do people go?
Our summer field sessions, we've always been at Lawrence Stadium.
Okay.
We'll be there again this summer, Mondays and Thursday nights. I've discussed it with Brandon, but we've got a lot of interest from youth parents and middle school parents. And lately we've started taking middle school kids on. And we've kind of merged them with high school. They do the warm-up. And then they break apart, but we're launching a youth and middle school division as well.
Awesome.
Separate sessions. That'll be at Lawrence Stadium as well.
Nice. That's cool. It's needed. I mean, especially for programs like Drake right now, Lowell, Haverhill, Lawrence, they all got new coaches, and that's your future right there. You got to love your seniors and juniors, but there's not much life with them right there. Like, I remember Coach Tony, the volleyball coach, great legend, Hall of Famer, state champion, his thing was, if you're by your junior year, senior year, you won't develop as much as a freshman. If you're right here, you're not over here. Like, you're not playing. I'm taking this freshman. I'd rather take this 8th grader because I got more time to develop them. I only have 2 years with you, and it's a stinky feeling. But if you don't put in the work, you don't put in the work, So it's a great time to start those guys, shape them the right way, and go from there. So that's awesome that you're doing the middle school stuff. And again, it's like they're signing up. If they don't want to do this, then they're not gonna do it. So it's kind of like you don't got to worry about that battle and stuff to try to convince somebody to do something because
Absolutely.
there's no need for that stuff. Yeah, man. So we're here just chit-chatting. Let us know where we could find you and things like that, how to hit you up if somebody has interest in
social media, Pact Performance.
Social media.
At Pact Performance, Instagram. Our Twitter is at Pact Performance, pactperformance.com. Google us. We're on TikTok. We got some videos of Brandon on TikTok.
Got it rolling.
Demonstration stuff.
TikTok's where it's at, though. TikTok, you got to be there. If you want to get your things out there, you just have to go. You just got to keep putting it in and use it for the best.
Yeah. Somebody like Brandon, he's got a really, you know, he's got a real creative mind too, and he's hungry. Is like, for us, it's not just we want to give the kids drills that they can work on while they're not there, or some free content. And I had a videographer there the other day, and I told him, you know, more than a hype video, I want instructional videos. And you're watching someone like Brandon, and not to be overconfident, but when people call like, so what do you guys do? It's like, get your son to the session. He's going to be hooked. Because he's working with Brandon, and I'm like, Brandon, what's your feedback? And not to insult coaches, they do a great job, but Brandon's like, this kid had no idea what this move was. And I'm like, that's why they're here.
Right. And there's a difference between knowing football and being a coach and being a trainer while understanding football. Like every time I'm teaching these kids something, I bring it back to what it will look like on the field, right? What we do out here, how it translates onto the field. And that's something that all my coaches in college do, and they do a real good job of. Coach Rubio, he's like one of my biggest inspirations. He played at Bridgewater State. And to be honest, man, it's just been the coaching that I got throughout all my life. Like Coach Nice was like, oh man, I say you can talk about this too. Is like when I was in 7th grade, 6th grade, bro, I was nobody. I was donuts. That's what they called me. Like I was like Jake Bobo. Nobody expected me to do what I did, right? And it was because of the coaches I had and the people who were in my ear. And Nelson was the first one. You know, the first one who was in my ear, pushing me, making me cry, everything, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it's like he's the prime example of why I wanted to become a coach and why I want to push these kids. And then Jay pushes me still in life as an adult. You know, he doesn't want me to be so closed-minded. He wants me to be open-minded, and he wants me to understand how, like, the life is really in your hands, and that's everything you get to do with it, it's on you. And that's why these kids, man, and these parents, you got to invest into your kids, man, because if you don't expect them to be good, right? I'm going to keep it raw, just like that. It's very raw, and that's how you would want it. You wouldn't want anybody to fake it with you. You would want it. I would hope you would want it to be as authentic as possible, because that's how I would want it.
No, yeah, of course, and you need to hear that because like there's a lot of people that no, come on, we're gonna make your son good, get him pictures, get him all this, get him a bunch of followers, but at the end of the day, if you're not good, and just take your money. Mm-hmm. Good thing you said that. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point. And you and I were discussing this before we came in and started the podcast. Is it's different because being a coach is a lot different than running a business, because you talk to the parents, you entertain them, and I'm not going to yell at a kid the same way at a session, truthfully, as I would at practice, because they're investing, they're spending the money. However, I had a parent the other night, a lot of first-time things are happening with parents. Hey, I'd like to discuss, football now. And I'm like, what is there to discuss? What is my son going to – I said, your son's going to be given an opportunity to compete. If he's better, he's going to start. If he's not, he's going to get beat out. Any coach that's telling you to go to their school, join their program, and promising you a position, isn't that good? Well, they're lying to you.
They're definitely lying. They're definitely lying, because it's easy to go over here and coach these kids that are going to start and make your brand look good. But how many players you really coming in and coaching and making them work and going over there and do what they got to do? You know what I'm saying? Especially that's the thing, though, with the transfer portal now. That's like, I love it because people get opportunities, but then there's things I don't like because I'm not playing. No, it's the coach. No, it's you, bro.
We could talk about that for an hour.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's So let's talk about that. How you feel about that
that's
stuff?
That's one of the biggest politics in football right now. And me, like, I wasn't given that opportunity. I walked onto Assumption University, just going to school there and walking onto the football field and be like, I'm trying to play football. And coaches and players will look at me crazy. But I knew who I was. And I feel like that's the biggest thing. And that's what I feel like a lot of kids lack these days, is they don't have confidence or the passion. Like, bro, if you work hard every day and you give your all and you see this kid practice and you see him, you got to know he's not better than me. And off of that, 4 years later, 2-time captain at Assumption University, I graduated with a 3.0. And the biggest thing, and I was a 2-time all-conference player, won a championship. But none of that matters to me now. As I look back at it, what matters to me is all my relationships I build and just my being a captain. I feel like that was the biggest accomplishment of my life, and proving to myself that I always had it. But if I could go back and take the easy way out, I still wouldn't. You know, and I feel like a lot of these kids, man, they got to have that mentality, bro, because it's, if you can't do it at that first school, what makes you think you can do it at that second school?
Correct. And that's something actually me and Kevin were talking about that, because he couldn't be here today. He's still on the team, you know what I'm saying? He just schedule wise.
Wiggs,
Yeah,
that's
Coach
another
Wiggs.
one, my dog.
Yeah. He just couldn't hear. Shout out to him. We were talking about that because we were talking about more about what we were going to talk about because it was going to be the second one. And it's like, that's a big thing right there to make sure you mention transfer portal and how you got to go put in the work. And like, you can't go over here and promise somebody like your kid is going to play, or you're going to start getting that sooner or later when sessions are over. August 17 comes, this is day one. For a scrimmage passes by a second scrimmage. Next thing you know, it's week 4 and the kids still haven't got out on the field. Hey, coach, what's up? He's not playing, but that has nothing, you know what I'm saying? So those are just things to try to get ready for, especially as you're evolving and growing and stuff like that.
And football has to be that last place where you can't afford to play politics because somebody will break a leg and somebody will get hurt. You put the wrong person on the field because their uncle's an administrator or whatever, the best people play. I mean, I'm at the point, too, I don't sugarcoat stuff with parents anymore. Do I coach at Central Catholic? Yes. I tell them Pact performance is my baby, and when I'm here, I'm very good at separating the two. At first I cared. I'm like, well, should I not post that I trained this kid for Mando? Anybody that comes to me and believes in me and what I have to offer, or Brandon, we're going to do what we can. It's funny because when you and I talked in 2020, you talk about projecting something and the manifestation of the mind. We talked, and I felt like I wanted to just create something that could provide maybe a certain landscape where kids could get an extra set of eyeballs on them for recruiting. And now that's what it's becoming, because I'll get messages from schools going, Jay, do you vouch for this kid? Where do you think he can play? And it's like, I can help get a kid a rub, and he may not be from Central. It might be from another school, but it's all about the betterment of the area. I saw this kid play, and I'm like, I want to work with you. Like, I want to work with this kid, you know? And make no mistake about it. Kids like Brandon, kids like Preston Zinter, I'd love to take the credit for their success. They were already friggin' studs from work, like people that you did, and him. His mindset, the way he is, the way his passion is, and you can see it when he coaches. Like last year, truthfully, now that it's built, everybody wants to collaborate, run an idea. Hey, Jay, can I jump on? I'm like, I needed you 4 years ago. When it was unpaid and it was volunteer and it was early. Brandon, you mind working with the young? I got him. Let's go. He would take the younger kids over, and not a lot of coaches want to do that. It's fun to coach the studs that are well polished.
Yep.
You run a drill. It's hard to do what he did with the young kids who don't know anything.
And the studs don't know as much as those other young kids, believe it or not. Everybody needs more coaching.
Absolutely.
You always do, at every age level, no matter what, NFL, everybody, you got to get better. You got to get coached by certain things.
These NFL guys still have trainers.
Yep,
they can't do it by themselves.
Correct.
So what makes you think you can as a high schooler?
I still have a speed coach.
You know what I mean?
I go to a guy on Sundays that puts me through some drills. And some might consider competition in the market. He's better than I am when it comes to speed and development. And when I work, I'm a sponge when I'm with him.
Yeah, got to do your homework.
I'm a sponge, and I put myself at the vulnerability of like, I'm yours. What do I got to do? Wow, that's great. I want to pick that up. I want to pick from the best minds. Marshawn Gilliard comes down. He does speed school. I think I'm very good with strength and conditioning. I think I'm very good with speed. I watch him work. He can evaluate a kid in 5 minutes and go, this kid's hips tight. Let's get him on the fence. Screw this drill. We're scaling back. This kid's hamstring is tight. He's like a wizard. He's like an Olympian. The guy, he came out of, he's just first of all, he's a great human being. We filmed some of the field sessions, and we had like 85 kids, and we were doing the combine prep stations. He didn't know the camera was on him. I watched him with probably the least developed kid there. And the kid was like nervous, and he had no idea how to do a drill. And I just watched Marshawn. He was like, listen, they're going to blow the whistle. You're with me. I'm going to teach you. Like, he wasn't like, all right, you got to go, bro. I got the next group coming in. We're on time. Yeah. And I watched someone like that, and I want to learn. I want to be a sponge. You can learn something from everybody. I truly believe that.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that for sure. You just learn every day. Keep going. Right now, this is a learning session and stuff. Right now, I'm learning I shouldn't use these chairs. They're kind of squeaky. You know what I'm saying? But I had to make the space for the 3 people. But yeah. So everything's learning, bro. You just gotta keep going and soak things in and learn. You know what I'm saying? So that's really funny. And much respect to what you do, because if I go back, I think it's 2015, 2016. My first, I started this. I was doing this with what's the dude's name? My bad, I forgot your name. That's crazy. It's been a few years. Is it Brandon?
From where Papuana?
Yeah, Brandon. Me and Young Muscles. You remember that? I used to do. We started pretty much what you're doing. It was Nelson's football clinic with Young Muscles. He used to come and pull up, and we used to do this stuff. And I stopped doing it because it's a lot of work behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying?
Man, it is.
But you guys stuck with it and kept that vision going and kept going and kept going and look where it's at now. So that's much respect to that. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate it. It's
the work it takes.
It's in year 5, and to be transparent, I struggle with balance, and I'm all in with this stuff, and I have to force myself to take days off, and I always want to help the kids. And I'm relentless with this stuff, but I love this stuff. And through my own personal struggles we talked about in the past, this is huge for me. So when the kids say, "Coach, you helped change my life," they have no idea that it's a two-way street, and kids like Brandon succeeding, or a kid like Joel Marillis, right? Watching a kid like that who you were instrumental helping, and a lot of kids had the same opportunity he had, right? And he keeps going, and now the kid's got a full ride going to Georgetown University.
That's
Joel
awesome.
Right out of Lawrence Papuana, another Hurricane.
Joel was just like any other average kid. Looked regular. You wouldn't expect him 3-4 years down the line that he has what he has now.
No.
Just off hard work and his.
Not sure which one he is. Fill me in on that.
From
Joel?
Brooks, the linebacker from Brooks.
Okay. Yep, yeah. Now I know
He had
what you're talking
offers
about
from
exactly.
Navy.
Yeah.
13.
I didn't know he had all those offers, though. Now I know the kid you're talking about, but that's awesome. That's so cool.
I was on the phone with Navy every 3 weeks, and they're like, "This kid is." I brought him down to Navy. We went down there, and I'm like, just to get recruited by Navy, you got to be the complete package.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
They're not bringing in punks, and we were there
Right.
on their first day of practice and stuff. And shout out to Chris Morales, because Morales kind of handed him off to us like, "Jay, I'm too busy. You train him, but I know he's in good hands with you." And that's another thing too. People like you, people like Chris Morales. There's a lot of people that are territorial and claim to be about the best interest of the kids. But however, they may be in the best interest of the kids while they're playing for them. But I've ran into a lot of kids, and I'm like, "How come you never took advantage of our program?" Kids that we let come pro bono, don't have to pay. And they're like, no one even told me. And you're like, interesting.
No, yeah, of course. I mean, it still happens right now. Best interest of the kids, but there's coaches that say, "Nah, don't play that sport." No, so like,
exactly,
a lot of things have to change. You know what I'm saying? At least for Lawrence that I was talking about. I don't know how it's going on in Central and Andover, but at least in that building, people have to collide more and be one. They need to unite more. That's a big thing that needs to happen.
I agree.
Definitely.
I agree.
Well, we could go ahead into those topics and be here till tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But nah, that's pretty cool, man. I mean, having a great time. Anything else you guys want to get out there before we wrap things up?
I just wanted to say, like, since we were talking about that, it's like, man, the things that we can do if we just work together.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And that's like, the egos are crazy, man. In football, and good teams, championship teams, coaches enforce not to have an ego. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard to not have an ego, but bro, for you to be selfless and be happy and bro, ego doesn't matter. You don't matter. What you do for people matters. You know what I mean? Like, just people are so, man, the world could be ours if we just work together, but it's not like that,
Nah, I don't know, one person at a time, and keep trying to go from there, because you got to that. Mm-hmm. And then these kids you're coaching and everything, and we could get to that. But again, the world will be a perfect place, like you said. It's not for a reason, Mm-hmm. But as long as you believe in it, believe in yourself, believe in the people you're teaching and passing along down, that's what matters. Because, like, I'm very grateful for all of that, for you guys that I coached and all those things, because the love of football and the love of coaching for you guys, because that's not what I didn't have that. This is where I'm at today. Like, I wouldn't be doing that administrative stuff if it wasn't for that. I started as a para.
Great in your, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And it all goes back to football, Because I was a bus driver coaching football. That the schedule wasn't adding up. When they get out of school, I had to go drop them off.
Yeah.
That's when you practice. So I had to work in a school. the position that I was in wasn't paying, so I went back to college, graduated, got my master's, did what I had to do to get where I'm at because of football. And, you know, so it's amazing. It's an amazing thing, man. Just got to believe.
And trying to build off Brandon's point is just trying to help these kids get a certain skill set, because you're not just a coach. You're a psychologist.
Oh, yeah.
You're a counselor. You're a mentor. You're all this. And the biggest thing that I say, and I'm 37 years old, is, again, still stuff that, once taught, twice learned. When you're teaching something, it's a reinforcer with the kids. And most of the stuff, I'm like, man, Jay, you should follow your own advice more. I tell the kids, you got to have balance, because what has made me successful as a person is I wasn't talented. I saw the field at Central because I could hit, and I learned how to work hard. I learned how to go to the weight room, and Coach A pushed me, and he knew he could get everything out of me. Same thing. I don't have a marketing degree. I don't have a business degree. My family doesn't come from money, but I'm just like, I'm going to figure it out along the way, and I'm still going. And it's like just trying to teach these kids, like, you're perfect where you are. If you're going D2 or D3, it doesn't make you less of a man. Utilize it. What are you going to do when you get out? I see that with kids today. People are crapping all over kids. The kid posted his D2 commitment. What a joke. Let him have his moment. Let him have his moment.
For sure.
You're not a better human because you go Division I. So it's be perfect where you are. And just to tie it in with the transfer portal, I'm not happy. I'm leaving. I'm not this, I'm that. The impatience, and you and I had a conversation after your freshman year, right? I went up to Westfield State as a freshman. I was Central Catholic captain. I was all conference. I went up there and I got humbled. I was like third string. And I called my uncle Kevin Fielding. He's like, kid, D3's no joke, huh? You better come back and learn how to work. And then I did, and then I tore it up. But it was like, I didn't train. And I took D3 for granted. And same kind of combo you and I had, right? You were going through a little adversity your freshman year, and you got to earn stuff and just be patient and get the degree and choose academics first. I have kids now that tell me, I'm deciding between these two schools, coach. One of them, I don't care what kind of defense they run. Like, what do you want to study? People used to say that to me, and I used to get offended. Like, dude, I'm 18. I don't got to figure that out. And now I look back, and I'm like, this guy's hating on me. But he was trying to give me life advice. And so be perfect where you are. Still be goal-oriented, but enjoy the process of where you are. And I got to go to prep school. I got to do this. I have 6th graders contacting me now. Coach, can you help me get film out? I'm like, dude, you're like 12.
Enjoy it. And another thing, last thing I would say is, guys, college is a beautiful thing. It's very beautiful, but everybody wants to go to the NFL, and I love that dream. I hope you do. But like you said, college, like I was just there. I just graduated December 31st. Bro, it is the memory. It's not football that you're gonna you're gonna remember football, but it's all the other things. It's that teacher that gave you a hard time that you had to bust your ass for. You know what I mean? Like It's so much other things that comes with it, and like it's the experience, bro. Like don't go, because guess what? Football, you are gonna want to quit. It's no joke. You are gonna want to quit, guys. It's you're there for. There's so many distractions around you guys. You know what I mean? And you just can't let them be distractions. Like you said, balance, having that balance. But it's like, guys, football isn't everything. You want to have fun. It goes by so fast. You need to enjoy it, bro. You need to see what it's like. How's the campus life? How are the people? How do they talk to you? Like so many things. Because me, it was a shell shock. A kid from Lawrence going to a school like Assumption, a Catholic school, 90%, white. Like it was different. So really understand that wherever you're going, understand that. And one last thing, high school is the best years of your life.
For sure.
You see your friends every day.
School, hell yeah.
You see your friends every day. Enjoy the moment, guys, because that thing, it flies, man. It flies. And I'm 22. Like, I'm fresh out of it, and I'm already missing it.
No, I hear you. That's funny, because, like, we tell you these things, and you're like, yeah, those are just one of those things that until it doesn't hit,
Relax, guys. Sit back and be like, yo, this is what it is. That's the biggest thing in life, because it goes by fast. Just sit down for a moment, lay back, and be appreciative of what you got going on right now.
Word. Legit. Nah, but we're here. I want to catch some on-field practice, see you guys doing your thing, mic you guys up, listen to you guys coaching and stuff like that. We'll get some clips in there and throw it in there as the interview process goes up, and we'll have some fun with it. And then we go from there. Maybe one day we'll sit down and just talk about your journey and your story. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm pretty sure people would like to hear that, especially the players out there now. Yeah. And yeah, man, it was a pleasure to have you guys. Absolutely. We're always here.
And listen, I'm extremely grateful. That's another thing too. Gratitude is just having I never thought you could be grateful and it would slow your momentum to chase more. But when you're grateful, you appreciate things, you start to see things differently, and being grateful for the struggle. And just honestly, like, loyalty is everything with me. I told Brandon this one, right? When I was launching the D-line, I said, we can learn everything else. I can't teach you to be loyal. You're either loyal or you're not. Yep. So that's the fabric with me. Like, I got to trust guys, coaches, all this stuff, and this is my baby, and I fully trust him. And someone like you, I don't forget, and I told you I wouldn't forget in 2020 when we did the interview, and I don't remember I don't forget anyone that supported me along the way. You know what I mean? And I appreciate that because you saw the vision too before there was anything. We didn't even have a vision yet, yep. And I'm grateful for that and just for the opportunity to come on again, and it's humbling to see where we've come and where we're going, and just kind of like everything comes full circle here.
Yep,
so thank
for
you
sure.
For having me.
The circle of life.
Absolutely.
That should be the title of this episode. The circle of life. Look at that.
Bringing world peace, right, Brandon?
Yeah, absolutely.